Hey everybody, just wanted to share a quick video on how I'm trying to navigate some work today using AI. You are currently looking at my Microsoft 365 Copilot Enterprise account, so I'm a business user of Microsoft Copilot, and what I did was essentially said, as of today's date, what are the best no-code vibe coding platforms for deploying websites and other build-outs like scorecard assessment quizzes? I'm between A, B, and C, don't want to consider this other one, and consider user reviews from Reddit and anywhere else like YouTube where true user reviews come through. Look for data as of today's date, June 23rd. It found some initial insights for me, gave me best for scorecard quiz, but I don't only want to do that. So I gave it that context and said, make a comparison table. My top need right now is clean landing pages with clear calls to action, and the scorecards are secondary, but still really important. Based on that, it gave me some data, and based on those recommendations, it gave me some ideas. I then further refined and said, I still think Bolt could be my best bet. I don't need native deployment of quizzes like to build them out on the platform. I just need to be able to host that custom HTML code, point the different API calls for the selections people make in the quiz. So I said, that's my goal. Can I do that with Bolt? Make a table and cross-check, and it made this. Said, looks like it's for all the things I'd like to do. It referenced citations along the way, and then it recommended some tips for my setup. And I said, well, can you actually help me figure out that setup and hosting for the API mapping? It said, well, it doesn't offer built-in API mapping UI like Outgrow or Bubble, I guess. That it does have other things. It's partially supported, may not be the solution for my scorecard quizzes. But I gave it this context critically. I said, well, right now I'm paying $40 a month for Score app. I'd rather pay $20 to $40 a month for one of these vibe coding platforms where I can not only deploy landing pages, but also scorecard assessments and project build-outs for clients and stuff like that. I just need to map the data and the selections the user creates along the way, and hopefully Bolt can help with tying it through the back end. So it used that context and looked at the current platforms and capabilities and prices and any notes behind that, and then it recommended the best fit for me being Bolt.new because I already have my quiz coded in HTML. I'd like to map the inputs to an API, but I don't have to do that. There may be other ways. I want to deploy multiple landing pages quickly, and I want to stay within a $40 per month budget. Let's give it a little more context to chew on. It is worth noting that I have a lifetime license to Swipe Pages, the landing page builder, and I also have a couple hundred other SaaS. So I won't necessarily have to do the landing page build out there. And I do have WordPress with Divi Supreme Pro, but that feels really tedious, and I've not been able to get anything off the ground for that, even though I built the draft pages probably 90%. Please consider this and review the most recent output and rescore based on this context. So I'm using a tool called Whisper Typing. If you go to whispertyping.com, I think is the website, you can see I have done thousands of transcriptions. I have saved countless hours, and over 100 hours saved so far. I've talked directly for 36 hours, and it's wonderful. So yeah, whispertyping.com is a free tool. I'm on Windows 10, and seems to work great. It uses the ability to rewrite and stuff like that too, but I'll do that in another video. So I'm going to give it what I just told it, which is worth noting I have a lifetime license, stuff like that. Now it's looking at those capabilities again, saying my best stack for me, based on ownership and speed, is going to be Swipe Pages for my landing pages, since I already own it and it's fast. And for the quiz hosting and API mapping, check out Bolt.new or Netlify. I haven't heard of that. Teach me about Netlify. Okay, powerful developer-friendly platform, deploy and host websites, static sites with ease, cloud platform. Some of these features, how I'd use it for my project would be a quiz folder and an index.html with some CSS and any other things like Java. And then I'm gonna go into the drop UI, connect to GitHub repo, and auto deploy. Okay. Please make a comparison table between this and Bolt. Can I achieve the same thing with Bolt, and which would be simpler since I'm a no-code vibe coder? And I'll put that in. This is more developer oriented, which I'm a little worried about because I'm not. This is no-code UI. HTML hosting is working on both, but landing page can't do that on Netlify. can do that in Bolt. And then down here, we've got form handling manual, which is fine. I can handle that. I have deft form, so I could probably just use deft form with the backend API, but deft form isn't for quizzes, so I'd have to figure that out for the quiz thing. Ideally, I want to use the custom HTML. Visual editor, Netlify doesn't have. Pricing is between my range that I mentioned. Best for no-code creators who want control with a low to medium learning curve. If I want the simplest path to host my quiz and map result without touching Git or CLI tools, it wants me to go with Bolt. I'll get the visual editor, easy file uploads, and smoother no-code experience. I think that's what I'm going to try. I'm not going to jump on anything, but I'm curious to hear what you all are recommending. It creates a Bolt starter template. So I'll just say, yeah, go ahead, create a Bolt starter template for me. Why not? I'm not sure what this is going to do. I honestly don't even know what a Bolt starter template is. Yeah, I use a mix of Copilot, Gemini 2.5 Pro. Used to use Claude more, but now I just use it more so in the back end of some stuff I use. Interesting. So it's just suggesting the structure for the folders, how I'd use it in Bolt. Can you create a phased step-by-step strategic guide for me to carry out the deployment of these 3 individual landing pages and 3 individual scorecard quizzes, each as individual projects on Bolt? Include phases for each project. If this is a rinse and repeat situation, you can make the same template of steps and process for each type, for example, the landing page versus the scorecard assessment, and we'll go from there. There we go. Okay, so 6 total projects, 3 landing pages, 1 per persona, and 3 scorecard quizzes, 1 per persona. Each project will follow 4-phase deployment: plan, build, connect, launch, and test. I'm going to be defining the persona, which I've already done, draft the core message CTA, which I've already done, and decide where the CTA leads, quiz URL or chatbot. Cool. And then I'm going to use Bolt to design the landing page, get all that put together, and export that. I'm going to then connect it with a Bolt hosted quiz. It'll open in a new tab, adding a chatbot if needed, using new oaks, not intercom or drift. And then I'm going to preview and launch. And then for scorecard deployment, I'll do these 4 steps. And it's just giving some suggested folder namings and stuff like that. Let's do a custom generated checklist and project tracking master spreadsheet. Let's just do that right here, not as download. Do it right here in the chat. All right, and this will be the last thing I do. I don't like how Copilot doesn't give you a context window. It just says you're out of chat once you're out of chat. So I want to make sure I get the most important stuff out in this thread before I run out of chat context. This is my process for using Copilot tied to the web. This is Copilot 365 for business, and I'm on the Microsoft Business Office plan too. And yeah, happy to talk through other stuff in the future, like how I use Copilot in my meetings and stuff like that. It's really great for extracting raw insight during middle of a chat. And let me know if any of this is used. Never done no-code deployment. That's why I'm so stuck on this. Just figured I would share kind of where my brain's at and what I'm asking about, what I'm hoping to achieve, and what I need to track to get it done. Hope this is useful. Look forward to talking.